In terms of Markelo, he's certainly on their kind of radar, and he's on a list of kind of potential targets. I think Rangers are exploring a lot of attacking options at the minute because they need a lot. They need people in wide areas or attacking midfield. They need creativity, basically. Derek McInnes has said, he's admitted that they're kind of well short with that. So this boy's one of them. I think he was on the list in January when they were going for like Skov Olsen and they were linked with Redzik and people like that. I think that's why his name's come to the fore again. So they're kind of weighing that up. It would be a season-long loan deal, I believe, for Coventry. They only signed with Coventry in January after impressing in Switzerland at Zurich. But obviously Frank Lampard's team got promotion to the Premier League. And I think he only made like 5 sub-appearances, so he didn't have a big impact. So it looks as if he's available on loan and he's somebody Rangers are looking at. But there are other options there. I think Jack had a piece yesterday on Amario Cozier Dewberry, who they really like and they're keen on, but there's a lot of competition for him for Brighton. He had a brilliant season on loan at Bolton last year. So there's a lot of interest in him. And it might be tough for Rangers to do a deal. There will be others as well, but certainly Markelo is on the list and as a possible, because they're determined to try and get wide players or attacking creative players in the building as soon as possible.
Does that say to you, Scott, that your Gassamas and your Antmans, the Rangers will be looking to move them on, shift them on, and August as well, because there's so much work that Rangers need to do with getting players out the way as well as in the way.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, there's a list of kind of guys that are surplus to requirements. I mean, initially, probably to start a pre-season, I wouldn't have had Antman and Gassama on that list. I thought Derek McInnes would maybe look to work with these guys, try and make them better, get a tune out of them. But as the pre-season's gone on, certainly Antman's not been given much a chance at all. Gassama got a start against West Ham, got an opportunity at the weekend and didn't take it. I'm told, in terms of Rangers viewing Gassama, he's not somebody that they're actively looking to kind of push out the door. But obviously, if bids come in for him, then they would consider them. But from the outside, you're right, Jacko. It just looks as if Derek McInnes thinks there's better out there, and these guys aren't up to the standard that he requires. We know how keen he is on his wide players and how reliant he is on them in terms of the way he wants his teams to play. So I think they're looking at loads of options, and if they get the guys in, you're right. Suddenly, the likes of Antman and Gassama are added to this list of Bayrami, Danilo, Cifuentes, McCausland, Inciala, all of these guys that they're looking to try and offload in this window.
It's funny you mention that, because there is an emphasis on how Derek McInnes likes his side to look, and it is with players that can deliver and create chances for wide areas, and he likes 2 strikers, whether that's 2 up top or 1 in behind. That's the way that we've seen it at Kilmarnock. It's the way we've seen it at Hearts. But in order for that to function, what you need, or what he needs, is a wide men, wingers who can be trusted to produce 9 times out of 10, not 5 or 6 or 4 or 3 times out of 10. He needs a level of consistency for these players. That's why I'm looking at the Coventry one, Markelo, and I'm thinking, is that Derek McInnes sort of a identical winger? A guy that's played a handful of substitute appearances. I think in an ideal world for Derek McInnes, he'd want something more tried, tested, somebody more certain that he can hang his hat on.
Yeah, I think what Rangers would say in terms of Markelo is, they accept that he's no had an impact at Coventry, but as I say, they have been watching him since he was at Zurich, and I think he did reasonably well at Zurich. That's what got him the kind of 4 million move to Coventry in the first place. I think his numbers were decent. Daniel maybe no better. I think he had like 6 goals, 8 assists or something, the Swiss Super League last season. So they've probably looked at that and thought, no, he could do a job for them. But I agree, it's a gamble, and I thought McInnes would look for somebody, or would want somebody more reliable, ready-made, proven. And obviously the names like Czerny and Mikey Moore, don't go away. And these are guys, who knows, Rangers might need to wait late on the window to try and get these people, but these players, but how long can they afford to wait? So no, those guys would be more guaranteed, I think, to come in and hit the ground running. Markelo, I think, again, would be a gamble. But he's certainly on the list. And you're totally right, Jacko, in terms of the wingers in a McInnes team. When you look at Rangers' 4 strikers, Shamiti, Shankland, Majowski, Nadiri. I mean, on paper, Rangers should be scoring freely. I mean, goals galore if you provide these guys with service. But obviously, the first couple of friendlies, there's been very little clear-cut chances in these games, and that's frustrating. Derek McInnes at the minute, and that's why he wants to strengthen so much in the attacking areas, because you probably know Derek better than me, Jacko, but with all his teams, I think he looks to sort the defence out first, make them compact, make them solid, make them hard to beat. And once he's got them in a well drilled and in a rhythm, then he'll just add the creative bits. I think that's what he's looking to do now. I thought against West Ham at the weekend, Rangers were a lot more solid and compact than they were against St Etienne. I thought it was a big improvement. Didn't give away a lot of chances. And that's what he'll want getting into the Premiership season. But it's now about adding the wee bits of creativity and invention and width that he needs to supply these strikers, because there's no point in having these 4 strikers if you're basically got 2 central midfielders playing out wide and don't get deliveries into the box. So that's something he'll be desperate to address.